Well, good morning. Good morning from the Hill. This is C Caps with the Hill Logic, and very cold this morning. I am so tired of winter. I can't even put it into words. I'm sitting here contemplating, actually watching some YouTube videos, and it made me start quandering around and thinking in my mind. And when you're home alone all day, you're subject to whatever your mind comes up with. And this morning, I got to thinking, I've just about 100% stopped watching any news. I'm so tired of being lied to. I'm exhausted from all the excuses turned into, or at least they seem to turn them into positives. And I know they're negatives. I'm not stupid, and neither is the American public. We'll see in November just how stupid we are, though, won't we? Having said all that, I don't care what channel you watch. I don't care what newspaper you read, magazine, article. It's just full of deceit, defiance, lies, judgments. The only thing lacking is truth. It just befuddles my mind. I think about my grandfather, who was the mentor in my life, the one that set a path that I've tried to follow most of my life. And I think what he would be saying, I can remember when you'd be driving around the traffic in the mid 70s, traffic would be up quite a bit. And he would say, "Man, where are all these people going? And why are they in such a hurry?" And then you pass by a new housing development, he would say, "Who's going to live in them? This town ain't that big." We lived in a little town called Altus, Oklahoma, where Altus Air Force Base was. And if it wasn't for the airport base, I don't know what in the world it'd be. But he was just stymied uh, by the stuff he saw that was occurring around him. And I sometimes think, what would he have to say today? He would absolutely be blown away. I'll never forget uh, when the first cell phones came out, and they were still in their infancy, and everybody didn't have one. He just couldn't get it. He just couldn't. Who is so important that they can't wait till they get to a phone? There's a phone in every corner. There's a phone in every office, and every home has one. What are these? What do they have to say that's so important? So I can just imagine he was so dead fast in his resolve to do the right thing. I just can't imagine what he would be thinking right now. And as much as I miss him, I'm kind of glad he didn't have to witness this. And I've said all this basically to be able to tell you I have found a little respite from all of this foolishness. And it's on YouTube videos. Now, granted, you have to be just as uh, careful with those as you do anything else, about what you watch and what you put into your brain. And I'm very, very careful about negative staying out of my life, in totality. But if you go to some of the homesteading channels, I'll give you a couple of examples. Drew's Lens, Our Mountain Home, Working with Wiley, Bobblehead, Ed Kilpatrick. It's just to name a couple. Mama V's. These are hardworking, and dare I say the word, normal Americans going about their life, building their lives, all too often rebuilding their lives. And there's no negatives in. And if there is a negative, you'll be able to watch them turn it into a positive. Not through pockets full of money, but from hard work, thinking outside the box, looking at an item that some person has discarded as used up, and seeing through to the other side what it could be. And my whole passion is set on leadership, and it ties into it so well because that's exactly what marks a good leader. Being able to look at a problem, thinking outside the box, look all the way through it, and see the solution on the other side. And then setting goals and priorities to accomplish those solutions that you've seen already that nobody else sees. I've seen working with Wiley and Our Mountain Home take stuff that had been discarded. They're done with it. A bunch of somebody's declared it's not useful anymore, and drag it to their home, literally drag it to their home, and turn it into something that makes their life go forward. The When all of this foolishness with supply chains and all these ridiculous items that they came up with to be able to shrink our wallet and double theirs. When that all hit, all of these channels were full of people that were making gardens and growing their own food and using barter, which is all but dead in our great nation, a nation that was built on barter. People like I'm describing, all too often they're country folks. They did not have a lot to begin with. Certainly did not. They weren't bequeathed anything by anybody, but through their hard work and doing the right thing when the possibility arose, they're living a good life. They're living the kind of life that this nation was founded on. I promise you, this nation was not founded on Democrats. It was not founded on Republicans. It was not founded, by then I guess there was independence. You didn't hear about them much, but that's not the groups that grew this nation. It's the folks that I'm talking about. This type of a person, this type of a willpower, this imaginary thought that we can do it. That's what built America. That's what we should get back to. Because I got to tell you guys, we've lost our way. America has lost its way. Now you can shut me down, you can close me out, but you can't shut me up. Because this is ridiculous. And about the time I start to get angry, as you can probably catch in my voice, I can sit back and think and reminisce about the older times. And I can reminisce about the way I was raised, and which is outside the norm, I assure you. Me and my brother and sister, I have a younger brother and younger sister. My sister's since passed, but we didn't have toys. We had acres. Mom and Dad would pitch us out at daylight, and other than getting lunch, they didn't want to see us until dark. We had things to do. We had things to accomplish. That's the backbone of America. The backbone of America are normal people doing extraordinary, impossible tasks and making their life the best that it could be. Coincidentally, they're making themselves the best that they can be. And that's really all one can ask for, 5-6 years ago, my wife and I bought it's almost 7 years now. We bought a little acreage. Never broke ground on it. Nothing's ever been done with it. And we were able, on her salary and Social Security, believe it or not, build us a house with the outbuildings we required, the gardens we required. We don't owe anything on it. And that was us being the best we could be to come up with the solution that would be best for our lives going forward. That's America. You know, I've seen a lot of films and a lot of pictures and what have you about Oklahoma Land Run, you know, and how we became known as the Sooners. And you see those pictures of those folks living in those mud huts, trying to get some kind of a crop out of this red stuff we call dirt, which sometimes I wonder if it even qualifies. But what that was America pulling itself up by its bootstraps. I know. What the heck? You never heard that before. It's not a popular saying anymore. More popular would be, when is my EBT car going to be here? But that's what's been on my mind is, you know, as horrible and drastic as it may sound, I sometimes contemplate, would the world not be better if we could have just get a level playing field again, where everybody had to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Every company had to pull itself up by its bootstraps. Politicians, I'm not even sure they have bootstraps, but politicians pull themselves up. Our country, our nation, pull itself out of this quagmire we find ourselves in by our bootstraps. I tell you what, I'll make you a promise. You can hold me to it. If you will seek out the types of simple homegrown videos that I'm talking about, it'll all make sense to you. You'll see how, you know, the more things change, the more they remain the same. You'll see how someone with determination, a good heart, a love for each other, a love for their country, you'll see how they're really living what America should be. So do yourself a favor. I started to say only watch the weather, but heck, I think I'm getting about as good at predicting that as they are. So do yourself a favor, look into these videos and see if it doesn't, number one, warm your heart. Number two, give you a little bit of boost of confidence in the American people. And number three, see if it doesn't put you in a place, your mindset where mine is, where what went wrong. This is what we need. You give it a look. Give it a listen. If you don't like it, guess what? They're free. Well, I guess that's all my rant. So I'm going to get off here. And if you can catch me on TikTok, I'll post these when I can. You can catch me on my channel, The Hill Logic, on YouTube. I haven't done a whole lot this winter. We've been involved in some home repairs and home remodeling, even already. So give yourself a breath. Stop what you're doing. Slow your roll. Isn't that what they say? Slow your roll. And give these folks, again, Our Mountain Home. There's hundreds of them. Our Mountain Home, working with Wiley, Drew's Lens, Mama V's Bobblehead, Ed Kirkpatrick. You know what they are? They're simple Americans doing extraordinary things to benefit their life without asking for help. It's amazing. See if it doesn't uplift you a little bit. Well, that's all I got from the Hill. I hope everybody has a great day. And goodbye.